Sami Zayn just spent 9 days as WWE Champion, cut one of the most emotional Raw backstage promos WWE has produced in years, and turned himself from a beloved mid-carder who finally got the belt into a character with legitimate grievances, a chip on his shoulder that is now fully loaded and pointed at the entire company that's booking around him. In the span of 9 days, WWE changed its world champion twice. The first change, arguably the most emotional moment in WWE in years. The second one happened because of a powerbomb through a table, a mystery opponent, and a city that was always going to go insane for this person that showed up to challenge Sami Zayn. One guy in this story got absolutely destroyed, and it wasn't the guy who left with the belt. This is the story of Sami Zayn 9 days as WWE Champion, what it meant, why it ended, and whether WWE just torched one of the best character arcs they've built in a decade. Welcome to the Tea Drop, where the brew is strong and there's lots to talk about. Let's go back a little bit way back. Before Sami Zayn was Sami Zayn, he was El Generico, a masked luchador from Montreal, wrestling in church basements, bingo halls, and independent shows that maybe 400 people showed up to. He spent years building a reputation in Ring of Honor, where he won the Ring of Honor TV Championship. WWE eventually, and this is more photos of him, but anyway, he even faced Kevin Steen. But anyway, WWE signed him. He became NXT champion, which was great. He got called up to the main roster, also great. And then nothing. Well, not nothing, literally. He won the Intercontinental Champion. I'll just leave it at that. He won the Intercontinental Championship 4 times. He became genuinely, authentically one of the most beloved figures in the entire company. The fans love Sami Zayn in a way that isn't manufactured. It wasn't, this guy's cool. It was the kind of love that comes from watching someone grind for a decade and never fully make it. His first shot at the top title in WWE came back in January 2016. Yeah, lost it. More shots came and went. He was involved in the Royal Rumble. He had moments where it felt like it could happen, but it never did. Then came the Royal Rumble in early 2026, against Drew McIntyre. By his own admissions afterwards, losing that one broke something in him. And he said, and I quote, "After that one, that's when I was already starting to feel like it was never going to happen. It was kind of love that comes from watching someone grind for a decade and never fully make it. How is main eventing WrestleMania in its only tag team title match nothing?" Well, to him, he's talking about his singles career. He's not disowning the fact of his tag career. Two different things. 24 years in a professional wrestling. Right? He had 4 Intercontinental title runs. He had a main event run scene, right? And never once a world championship. This story is about world championships. That is the foundation for this conversation when it comes to his world championship talk. Keep it in your brain, guys, because what happens next only lands if you feel the weight of all of that. Now, we go back to Night of Champions, which was an interesting night. Some decent matches. The last main event match was pretty good. I was fine with it. It was back and forth crazy, but anyway, surprisingly okay. Could have they gone harder? Probably, but beggars can't be choosers. So on June 27th, 2026, Night of Champions, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, preparing for WrestleMania 43 with all these things. The main event is a triple threat match for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes is the champion, the American Nightmare, that guy. The man who spent 2 years chasing his story before finally finishing at WrestleMania 40, which was a great moment for everyone. Or at least everyone that was pushing for Cody Rhodes to dethrone Roman Reigns. I know there were a few that didn't want that to happen, but hey, Gunther is also in the match, if anyone forgot about that. And so is Sami Zayn. It was a great match, like I said. But I think nobody coming into this gave a realistic odds here for him. Everyone, for the most part, I think a lot of people thought, because the way things were going, was that Cody was going to hold the belt all the way to SummerSlam. Then there were people, including myself, thought maybe we're going to get a little shocked and have Gunther win the title. Why not? If anything, we will back is Gunther himself. But that didn't happen. Instead, it was Sami. You had the defending champion who had just finished the biggest story in WWE in years. You had Gunther, arguably the most credible, honestly, in-ring presence in the company right now. And then 18 or so minutes. How long was this match? I'll go down here. Where is it? Yeah, 18 minutes. 18 minutes and a few seconds later, Sami Zayn pins somebody and wins the WWE Championship, which everyone, including the announcers, were shocked as living hell. And he didn't sneak into it. He pinned after a few back and forths with Cody. Only man, I guess, I think we talked about it in the previous video, of Middle Eastern descent, or I apologize if I said it, but he did break a few barriers by becoming champion, WWE champion. Definitely check out the previous video about it. This was a decent match, like I said. For the first time in his life, Sami, formerly El Generico from Montreal, was the undisputed WWE champion. It was the kind of moment that wrestling is supposed to create, the kind you watch and feel in your chest and want to see what happens next. But then, as you know, WWE gave him. Let's talk about July 6th. July 6th, Monday Night Raw, Allstate Arena, Chicago, Illinois. We all knew CM Punk will be involved in this show, we just didn't know to what capacity. Sami Zayn shows up backstage, still celebrating his championship win, and for that night, thanks to the previous SmackDown, Cody Rhodes was a #1 contender, and on Monday, July 6th, his scheduled opponent for that night was Cody Rhodes himself. Rematch, makes sense. He's the former champ. I don't even know why we had a #1 contenders match on SmackDown. He should have just called his shot. Except when this happened, Gunther comes. He's also in the building, and he is also waiting for his turn. Gunther ambushes Cody Rhodes before the match even starts, way hours before. He powerbombs Cody's through a table. He slams his head directly into also a door. After having a one-on-one talk with Sami, he out of nowhere hits, you see it here, boom, hits Cody in the head with the car that Sami came in. And because of this, Rhodes is medically cleared to do nothing now. He's out. So now you have a champion with no opponent 20 or so minutes before the main event in Chicago. I mean, you could have had Gunther, but he chose to kick him out. They needed a replacement champ. And I apologize, it wasn't 20 minutes before the show. It was way before. We found out 20 minutes or so when the champ, who was going to be the challenger. Aldis steps in and says he's got a replacement challenger. The arena goes quiet. We waited a couple of hours. The arena goes quiet on who will show up. And of course, who would you think shows up? CM Punk, Chicago's own hometown hero. Punk has been out of action since April, since WrestleMania, about 3 months gone. And the moment that music hits in his hometown, the Allstate Arena lost his mind, as you would expect. Here's the thing though, the match itself, look at CM, and you can see in his face, poor old Sami, what's about to happen. He already saw it. But anyway, and stole the show. They even used each other's finishes, moves, and survived sequences that would have ended lesser matches 3 times over. Sami Zayn even mocked Punk throughout the match, slapped him in the face, declared himself the champion right to his face. Honestly, that was the mistake. Punk came back with everything he could. Survived one final Zayn GTS attempt, hit the haluva kick of his own, borrowed Sami's playbook, and finished with the GTS. And that's it. You got a new champion with CM Punk. He is now an 8-time world champion in professional wrestling. 9 days after Night of Champions, Sami Zayn reigns was over. Now, what happens next is the reason I'm making this video. Sami Zayn walked to the back, still processing what happened, still in his gear. Where's the Sami promo? Do we have it? There we go. Can we get a less blurry pic of him? That's good job, WWE. Sami Zayn walked to the back, still processing, still in his gear, and he stopped in the corridor and said out loud to whoever was around. And I'm not going to play it because of unfortunate copyright, but I will say what he said on the air of this clip. He said, I have a question. How is it after 24 years of crawling and itching for every little bit of inch to get the WWE Championship, he says it ends in 9 days. And he started cursing to the point. Like he's cursing. I wish I can play this. WWE likes copyrighting people. It is what it is. He's mad because of all what happened. He didn't finish everything he said cleanly. He didn't need to because the internet in their heads finished it for him. Within hours, the conversation became transitional champion was the phrase attached to Sami's entire reign at this point. Social media had already run the verdict. 9 days, no defense, handed the belt to Punk on the way to a bigger program. Done. Next. And look, that framing isn't entirely wrong. I was mad about it, but not worth brewing your heads for life over. Get a little upset out of the situation and you move on. But based on what we saw, the mechanics do look transitional. Sami wins the belt. Cody is set up as a rematch. Gunther scrambles that. Punk slides in. Punk wins. Punk versus Cody is now SummerSlam. That's a clear line from A to B, and Sami is a point in the middle. He's the midpoint. But here is the argument worth making. That framing misses what actually happened. Sami Zayn just spent 9 days as WWE Champion, cut one of the most emotional Raw backstage promos WWE has produced in years, and turned himself from a beloved mid-carder who finally got the belt into a character with legitimate grievances, a chip on his shoulder that is now fully loaded and pointed at this entire company that's booking around him. AJ Styles said publicly that the 9-day reign is just weird. And I can read from this post what he said. We all said it would be great if Sami holds on the belt for a little while. That was not going to happen. That was not going to be the case. So you've said many times on this podcast you're not a big fan of flip-flopping the title. Sami was WWE Champion for 9 days. I don't understand. It's not for me to understand. I get it. I didn't write the show and I don't know what's happening. I'm hoping there is an actual reason, and from what I saw on the internet, they backstage with Sami after the match, he's pretty pissed off. Let's see where this story goes before we start getting mad about everything that's going on. By the way, CM Punk looks like $1 million right now, but you know there is a story that's happening. So before we get our panties in a wad and just be as negative as we get, let's see what happens, which is true. Because this may be a transition in where Sami is a totally different character, which we'll find out in a few weeks or in a few days, maybe even tomorrow. And that might be what we need. And it might be another match to do. There's things that can happen. So let's see where it goes, is all I'm saying. Before we start judging and being mad, even though I didn't want a transitional champion, let's see where it goes. Besides him, also, JBL showed up with his thoughts. JBL came out and said Sami should not be written off as just a transitional champion. And he quotes, "I don't think Sami's a mailman. My opinion, I think he's a champion and they're going to give him a shot. I think the championship is going to be held by Sami as long as the merit's there. Not something of, okay, we've got to get this on somebody else so we can push our stars going into the later part of the year. I don't think that's the case. Sami's just the champion, not a transitional champion, not a mailman. I think Sami's just a champion and he should be treated as such." And he said that in Something to Wrestle podcast. A lot of split opinions here. But the question now becomes, what is WWE going to tell us next? Let's move on to Cody. And I'm not going to play this video. I'm just going to put it right here. There. 4 days after Raw, July 10th SmackDown, Cody walks out. He's still recovering from what Gunther did to him. He got a little hurt. He's banged up. So is CM Punk. He had a little black eye going on. And instead of waiting for an explanation or demanding some kind of compensation for being robbed of his title shot, Cody Rhodes does what Cody Rhodes does best. He just challenges. He challenges CM Punk directly. SummerSlam, title match. Punk being Punk, of course, accepts. It's official. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE Championship on either August 1st or 2nd at the US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll see if they'll main event night 1 or night 2, or maybe they'll just be somewhere else on the card. We will see. I think they'll decide once they see how the rivalry buildup happens and which one are fans more willing to watch. Also, they got to do this weird thing with ESPN that they give good matches on the free hour and then the rest is like not. It's okay matches. It's just weird how they set that up. As of recently, they didn't do that for WrestleMania. But anyway, this is a match that's been teased for a bit. If you've been paying attention for the product for a few years now, since CM Punk and Cody have come back, they built towards it and circled around it for years. Punk returned at the 2024 Royal Rumble, right? The Punk Rhodes collision was the big elephant in the room for every major WWE event since. You saw it at the Royal Rumble. You saw it a little bit after one of the WrestleMania 40, even 41, I believe. Even this past year, it's always been built up somewhere. I mean, I know it exactly, but it's been a conversation. Now we have it as maybe potentially a main event at SummerSlam. And it's for the title. The irony of all of it, though, Gunther is the one who made this happen. So if anyone loves this match, thank Gunther the next time you see him. If you're in the crowd in the next couple weeks, say thank you, Gunther, for giving us this match. Because Gunther attacked Cody and cleared the path for Punk to take the title. Gunther indirectly caused Sami's 9-day reign to end by having to attack Cody. I mean, who knows? Maybe Cody beats Sami and it's still the same situation. But now we have this 2 matchups because of Gunther. Because Cody could have won the belt, then Gunther could have challenged him afterwards, and we could have had that match that he wanted. But thanks to him and them calling an audible, Cody's still not having his title opportunity. He is still the #1 contender in a way. So Gunther messed up on that one. He indirectly caused, like I said, Sami's 9-day reign. And now Gunther, instead of getting title opportunity, which honestly should have happened at Saturday Night's main event, instead we're getting a tag match at Saturday Night main event on July 18th. He's paired with Sami Zayn against Punk and Cody. Of all people, he got Sami Zayn. What? The chaos Gunther created is now the entire architecture of WWE Summer at this point. Well, sorry, Gunther. But anyway, where I stand with this, CM Punk is the undisputed WWE Champion. He's now headed into SummerSlam as one of the most important name in the company, because I feel for most, he's still second to Roman Reigns. Regardless, it's not a sentence you would have predicted 3 months ago. Honestly, when he was off television, people were questioning if he was going to come back. Maybe he was planned to be on WrestleMania, but as a champion, that's new. Maybe he would have been the challenger, but as champion? Interesting. I don't think many would have thought of that, but maybe. If you were one of them, let me know in the comments. Cody Rhodes is now going to be the challenger. Where's the SummerSlam show? Boom. Let's go here. Cody Rhodes is the challenger, a man who spent 2 years becoming the most important babyface in WWE. Finished his story at WrestleMania 40, won the title, lost it to a triple threat, got powerbombed through a table, and is now asking for one more shot to get it back. And Sami Zayn, poor Sami. Sami probably is exactly where he needs to be. He's furious, he's motivated, and carrying something real. That backstage promo he did after losing the title, I don't think it was a burial. It was him starting a new mission statement as a new version of Sami Zayn, caused by his loss of the title, a thing he's longed for years. So 24 years of crawling for every inch, that line doesn't go away. That line is his opening line for his new persona, not a closing one. The argument in the internet is having right now is, was Sami wasted? Was he a wasted time as champion? I don't know, but it's actually the exact conversation WWE wants you to have as a fan. Because if you're asking that question, you're invested in the story now. You care. You want to see what happens next, and now you're going to tune in. So, if anything, it's an excellent ploy by WWE to do this, because now people are not only mad, annoyed about it, but now they want to see what happens next. Maybe some will actually turn off the TV, but eventually, if you see the development, you're going to come back. The only way Sami Zayn was truly wasted is if WWE perks him in the mid-card and never revisits what the 90-day reign meant to him. So we'll see. Still got a few weeks to go till SummerSlam. Everything else, though, that's just the story still being written. SummerSlam is going to be August 1st, or for at least the first night in Minneapolis, and then August 2nd on Sunday. We don't know which one will have Punk versus Cody. But somewhere in that building, we know Sami Zayn is going to be watching this. What happens after that? We don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Was Sami a transitional champion? Was it a wasted time? Or do you think and agree that there's something bigger in the horizon? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. And as always, if the tea hit right, hit the like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video.